Hi, speakers. We have a few of you in the room already. If you're there, please type your name in the chat bar and where you're calling from. This is Robin J., your host. And we'll get into that in a moment. There's an 8-second delay. Let's see here. Hi, David. Right here in Las Vegas. What side of town are you on? I remember when Las Vegas was just Las Vegas, 250,000 people. There was only one town. There maybe a little east and west, but not much more than that. I was just telling someone yesterday that I used to live by Eastern and Sahara, and I worked at Channel 13, which was on Spring Mountain. Oh, Summerlin, fabulous. I worked at Channel 13 on Spring Mountain and Valley View. And I had to be to work at 8:30, and I would leave my house at 8:20. Can you imagine making it that far? I would just take DI all the way west, turn left on the strip, and then right on Spring Mountain, and boom, I was there. 10 minutes. I think that would take about a half an hour right now, and you couldn't just cross the strip. Have you been in Las Vegas a long time? And there's always been an 8-second delay on Webinar Jam, and I'm wondering now if it's a little faster now that there's the all new Webinar Jam. So I'm hoping not to encounter any glitches or anything technical. I logged on today and 2 years and 5 months. Where are you from originally? Or before this? I have been here 42 years. So there were 250,000 people when I moved here, and now there's more than 2 million. There are more than 2 million, sorry. And who else do we have in the room today? I love doing the live chat. Someone asked me recently if I was going to do it, Park It On Ever webinar. And I just love being here to answer your questions live. And I will go live at the end. Hi, Carol from Chicago. How are you? Houston, grew up in SoCal. Every quadrant. I like that. Every quadrant of the U.S. All right. Well, I want to get a really good recording today. So let's go ahead and start. Feel free to ask me questions. Just type in the chat bar if you have anything as we go. The PowerPoint keeps me right on track too. So, and you have up here at the top of the chat bar, I have a sticky chat, which is my email, robin@lvcsb.com. And then I hope you downloaded your action guide. Did you do that yet? If not, let me click forward here. There's the link, and I have it up there in the sticky chat. That's a new feature. I like that. Where I can post something, because I think in a typical webinar, I was posting my chats about my email about, I don't know, 10 or 15 times throughout the webinar, and now I can just post it up there, which is great. So did you get your action guide to follow along? Whoever's in the room, let's make sure you got your action guide. All right. Downloaded, printed, and ready to go. Oh, honey, you're welcome. Do you speak a lot? Often? Everybody can hear me, I take it, because you're responding to my questions. I'm a master of deductive reasoning. I have a blonde function too sometimes. Okay, good, great. What's your topic, your main topic, David? Carol, you're speaking a lot too. I think I know you, Carol. I think you speak on oh, super. Okay, I think Carol speaks on personal empowerment and growth and the divine, which is fantastic. All right, so Oh, you're a pastor too. Oh my God, we have a divine gathering today. Fabulous. So you're speaking every week, aren't you, David? Do you want to take your message out on the road? I'm sorry, it helps me to get to know you a little bit. And then I can tailor some of my webinar to you if you're interested in going out and earning money as a speaker as well. Okay. So moving forward, you've got your action guide. And let's start with a quick poll. Wonderful. Okay. Let me see here. I have a little poll here. And I am going to start it, I hope. Everything is different. All my buttons are different today. So forgive me if I get a little distracted. Okay, you can see the poll in the chat bar. Just click on whether your speaking goal is to gain financial freedom from speaking or to supplement your income. And I think I have a pretty good idea. Supplement regular income. Okay, that's fantastic. Right, anybody else want to weigh in on that? Okay, I'm going to, 50-50, look at that. Sometimes we get 50-50. It's very different. When your goals are, you're trying to support yourself just through speaking, there's a lot more pressure on you as opposed to if you have a regular job and you're using it for that. Okay, I'm going to end the poll and reset it, go back to chat. Doing pretty well for someone who hasn't done this one before. Okay, let's see here. Well, let's start talking about this. I mean, imagine earning $5,000, $10,000, or even $25,000 for a 1-hour presentation. Imagine that, and I can tell you it can happen. I've booked speakers for more than $30,000 an hour. This is one of the highest paid industries in the world. This course is not for you if you really don't want to leverage your passion, your message, your experience to earn an incredible income and lifestyle, or you're just happy speaking for free. It's a fun hobby for you. Believe it or not, there are a lot of people, they love to get up. If you've ever been to a Rotary meeting, it's like that. People at a Rotary meeting just love to stand up and talk about their business, and it's a good thing to be able to speak and be happy, but that is not what this course is about. Insider Secrets was made for you. If you have an important message to share, you want to distinguish yourself from the crowded field of general speakers. You want to become the leading expert in your field. You want to earn thousands every time you speak and have high recurring income. You want to influence and help others and fulfill your potential, sharing your message. You want to discover how the speaking industry really works, which as president and founder of the Las Vegas Convention Speakers Bureau and running it for more than 10 years, believe me, I can tell you how it really works. And you're ready to start getting paid to speak. So feel free to chime in anytime you want on the chat bar. As I mentioned before, speaking is one of the highest paid professions today. There I am speaking up at an MPI meeting, Meeting Professionals International up in Edmonton. What a wonderful group of meeting planners they are. In fact, since I started the Bureau, I started to focus more on going to meetings and speaking where there were meeting professionals instead of other speakers. So I would take an MPI over an NSA meeting any day because I want to be around the people who might book me for a paid gig. This is, again, one of the highest paid professions today. You can get checks for $5,000, $10,000. Here's one I got, and you can see it's first payment toward an event that I was doing. So what do you want to earn from speaking? Let's talk about this, what you did last year and what you want to do next year. And for this, I didn't set up a poll. Just chime in on the chat bar. And remember, I think there's an 8-second delay. They might have tightened that up a little bit, but I know we're on the wire here. So what's the top fee you've earned this year in 2017 so far? Feel free to type that in the chat bar. You don't have to. I don't want you to feel any pressure. We're just trying to I want to make a point about this. And if you're looking at your action guide, then you see these questions there. Okay. So I want to know what's your top fee you've earned this year and what's the top fee you want to earn next year. And it doesn't matter if your top fee this year was $1,000 and next year you want your top fee to be $10,000. We're just going to look at where we are so we know how we want to get there. So David writes, I'm just getting started. So does that mean you haven't earned for speaking other than your job as a pastor? That's okay. What about, let me see, we have Carol in there. We have a few other people that are being shy. You know, sometimes people attend a webinar while they're doing other things. So I don't want to put any pressure on anyone. But, you know, if you look at this, what's the most you've earned this year and what's your top fee you want it for next year? And then your average fee for this year, which if you're just getting, you're both just getting started. Okay. And everyone else is shy or doing something else. Okay. $1,500 to $3,000 range. That is so doable. And I can show you how to do that. Okay. Your average fee for this year. So we'll say maybe 500 or 1,000. And you want your average fee next year to be, let's go for the top, 3,000. Okay, David? Is that all right? And then how much will you earn this year total from speaking, of course? Oh, I like that. You want to start planning for $150,000. Fantastic. I think that's a great, very doable income from speaking. And think about it. If you're making a couple $1,000s every time you speak, that's about once a month, some months maybe twice a month during meeting months like April, May, October, November. I always get busier with the Bureau during those months because that's when a lot of companies have their meetings, their spring kickoff or their fall meeting. So when you think about how much you want to earn this year, and then how much do you want to earn next year in 2018? Now, I'm guessing there's a gap there, okay? I know you have to, oh, you're so sweet. I like this encouragement over here in the chat bar. Okay, so look at how much will you earn this year versus how much do you want to earn next year? And there's a gap. And are you ready to close it? Because if so, you're in the right place because I can help you close it. And then think, you know, ask yourself, what's that worth to you? As you see in the action guide, what's it worth to you to close that gap? 20% of what you make? You know, the Las Vegas Convention Speakers Bureau, if I book you for $10,000, the Bureau takes 25% or $2,500. And I have told friends and colleagues that if they book me, I will gladly give them 25%, just like if they were my Bureau, because it's money I wouldn't have had without them. So when you think about it, is it worth $20,000? 20%, is it worth $20,000? If your gap is $1,000 and you can close that, is that worth 20 grand to you? So that's really, we're just trying to get a snapshot of what it takes to close that gap between what you're doing now and what you want to be doing. The truth is that often, in spite of standing ovations and tons of accolades, most speakers really don't earn enough money to put gas in their car to get home. It's really sad, but they never discover how to monetize their speaking careers, and we're going to take a look at why. And I have to tell you, I'm so passionate about Insider Secrets because I was one of those speakers. I struggled. I worked so hard, and I spoke just like I was doing a $5,000 or $10,000 presentation, and it was very, very frustrating. Even if I sold everything I brought, all my books, all my little DVDs and everything that I brought, sold my entire suitcase, I was grossing maybe $400 or $500 in product sales and only netting about $200. And that's a lot of work when you think about preparing a PowerPoint, schlepping, my favorite word, schlepping your suitcase to the event, rearranging the furniture in the room, setting up your screen and your camera and everything just to present for about 20 minutes or an hour, and then struggling. So believe me, I can answer your questions on this because I've been there, done that. I started as a speaker and an author. I love this example. Why would anyone try to fly an airplane without first taking flying lessons? You would never get in the cockpit and go, where is the takeoff button, right? You would know you'd have to take lessons to fly a plane. And yet, people become authors and speakers every day without any formal training, or maybe even the wrong kind of training. And I think it's because we speak from the time we're children. We speak, you know, from the time we're toddlers. And we write. So we think writing and speaking is probably pretty much the same thing as becoming a professional speaker or a published author. And they're not. They just, you need to understand that it's an industry and understand how it works, or you're going to struggle like I did the first few years. Over the next hour, I'm going to show you how the speaking industry really works. I'm going to share the biggest mistakes most speakers make, You're going to discover why most speaker training fails, the 3 different types of speakers. Did you know there were 3 types of speakers? There are. And what every speaker should know before struggling one more day. I'll share insider secrets to earning 6 figures as a speaker and how you can make more money in one day than you ever thought possible, plus how to set your speaking career on fire. That's one of my favorite expressions because people notice when your career is on fire, right? Number 1 on Google search, right? So you're about to discover incredible secrets and insights about the speaking industry that took me nearly 10 years, I'm so embarrassed to say, and almost $250,000 to learn. I was years into the business before I really discovered how it works. And I think running the bureau really gave me some insight into, like, I call it behind the curtain, like the Wizard of Oz, to where I really saw how the industry worked and discovered what it takes to succeed. And boy, had I been barking up the wrong tree. And stay tuned. I have an incredible offer for you at the end of this program, a mind-blowing, game-changing opportunity for just a few speakers. So hang in there till the end. I also have an amazing nugget from Napoleon Hill, who wrote Think and Grow Rich, that I love to share. So I've got that at the end of the program too. So hang in there with me. It's going to be an action-packed, information-packed hour. Here's your first tip. Insider Secrets tip number 1, establish your credibility. Why should people listen to you? Anytime you speak, at a networking event or on stage, why should people listen to you? Why should they buy your book? Or why should they hire you as a coach? And so on. So I'm going to take advantage of that little nugget and tell you why I can help you. In 2006, I founded the Las Vegas Convention Speakers Bureau in the convention capital of North America. I believe you have the URL there, lvcsb.com, Las Vegas Convention Speakers Bureau. Las Vegas has more than 11 million square feet of convention space. And I thought, why should I have to get on an airplane and take my message, around the world when the world comes to our door? As president and founder of the Las Vegas Convention Speakers Bureau, today I get to work with the speakers I used to only see on television or read their books. And you can see, I'm sure you recognize some of the people there. I regularly book speakers for keynote presentations and breakout sessions. And I put this up here because a lot of people, when they're starting out, don't really understand the difference between a keynote and a breakout. And it's very simple. A keynote presentation is when everybody at a conference or a meeting or convention is in one room. Like if it's a really big, like North American Automobile Dealers Association or National Automobile Dealers Association, they might have 20,000 people at a conference. So all 20,000 are in one big room. Breakout sessions, then everybody breaks out into smaller classrooms of 50 or 100 or maybe even 300, depending on how big the meeting is. Typical meeting might be 500 people in a keynote room, in a ballroom, and then they break out into maybe 10 rooms of 50 people in each room. If you're booked as a keynote presenter, you might want to volunteer to do a breakout session during the event. And your meeting planner will love that because you'll be saving them a little bit of money, especially if you're getting a full fee for a keynote presentation. This is my body of work. I'm a published author. The Art of the Business Lunch is in 12 languages. I wrote that and published it in 2006. I'm a contributor to Chicken Soup for the Soul, a contributor to Power Mentorship Anthology series, and then I published and edited the Power of the Platform series of anthologies with Jack Canfield, Les Brown, and Brian Tracy. They're wonderful. And when I launched the Art of the Business Lunch, I was invited to do interviews on MSNBC TV, Chicago Tribune, Newsweek, BBC, London Financial Times, all over the world, basically. It was really exciting to launch a book and have that kind of publicity drive. It's fantastic. And lately, I have been making movies, fabulous movies. I'm sure you recognize these big stars, thought leaders in the field of personal development. And I want to assure you that they trust me with their reputations, which means you can too. And you can see the awards my movies have won, and they're in distribution. One is with Beyond Words Publishing, which distributes The Secret and What the Bleep. The stars in the movies gain success by association. So I think that's enough about me. So let's get back to you. Professional speakers, mistakes, and misconceptions. Most speakers make every mistake in the book. I did in the beginning, and I think I've humbled myself enough that you know that I struggled a lot in the beginning, thinking if I got that one fabulous keynote, I would set myself on fire with that. But you can build up your base and you can build up your fee, but it's not the same as really understanding how the business works. So the top three mistakes quickly are most speakers don't understand how the speaking industry works. They rely on fee-based gigs, and we'll get into that in a second. Or they create and try to sell the wrong products instead of starting with the end in mind. And they don't understand how really easy it is to stop speaking for free and start getting paid to speak. I sure wish I knew a long time ago what was involved. Success as a speaker is not just about being a great presenter. It's about understanding how the business works. And of course, being a great presenter helps too. But I can assure you, I have spoken at big events where everybody came up to me afterwards and told me I was the best speaker they'd ever heard. And I still was struggling, even though I sold everything I brought, like I said, in my suitcase and grossed maybe $500 or so. I wasn't netting, I don't know, half of that, whatever my books cost me from my publisher. So I have uncovered some very serious problems, having been a speaker, first and foremost, and an author. Most speaker training programs fail to address how the speaking industry actually works. They're selling you some other newfangled kind of way to run your business, but it's not about how the speaking industry works. You can have a dynamite program, but you still may struggle to make ends meet. I hear from speakers all the time that they've taken various training programs and they're still disappointed in their results. Speaking is also a very crowded field. It doesn't have to define you that it's a crowded field, but industry experts are often willing to speak for free. It's interesting. I got a request for some speakers. They wanted 4 speakers to do 6 sessions. Their total budget per speaker was like $1,500 to $2,000. And I went to find out more about the clients. So I went on their website and there was a huge call for presenters post. And I realized that the people they're hiring through the Bureau are going to flesh out that roster of industry experts. And that's, they were looking for people. Sometimes they'll comp a speaker into the event, which if you're a doctor and it's a medical conference, wonderful. You might save $1,200, but you're not going to make any money speaking for free like that. And there are so many experts speaking on the very same topic. So the question becomes, how can you and your message stand out so that you can achieve financial freedom? Let's define what financial freedom means to you. Having all the money you want and having the free time to enjoy it. Do you agree? And please feel free to type in the chat bar, yes, because one without the other is just useless. If you have all the money you want, but no free time to enjoy it, that's just called a workaholic. And if all you have is free time and no money, that's called being unemployed. Right, absolutely. So we want to define the financial freedom. Jack Canfield in my first movie said, when your vocation feels like a vacation, you have arrived. So that is the goal. Whether we're supplementing our income or speaking exclusively, that's where we want to go. I can assure you that your dream can come true. You can achieve financial freedom as a speaker if you take the time to understand how the industry works and discover the keys to achieving all you want. It's that simple. You just have to know how the industry works, and that's really cracking the code. That's why I call it the keys to six-figure speaking, because this is one of the keys, understanding how the industry works. Most speaker training isn't about how to monetize your speaking career. In fact, have either of you been to a typical speaker training event, or anyone else who's in the room? If you have been, just type yes or no. This is usually what you'll get is a roster of several speakers who are, going to speak about everything from packaging to positioning and branding, how to perform during interviews, sometimes what color to wear, all kinds of things. And a host who will tie it all together to help you see the possibilities for just about $10,000. Okay, well, once you get in the circuit, you will start hearing from other speakers, I assure you. And this is what some of the programs are. There are a lot of speakers who try to teach you how to speak for colleges and make more money speaking at colleges. And I know how to do that. And it's not what you would think. And I don't think it's always what they're teaching, or women's groups or any particular group. I can tell you from running the Bureau, I hear from speakers all the time that this type of training doesn't work. They spent a lot of money, thousands and thousands of dollars, and they didn't learn how to monetize their speaking. So when you look at the questions in your action guide, and we talk at the top of the page, it says, what does financial freedom mean to you? I ask if you've had previous speaker training, and if so, rate it. So you guys aren't able to rate it because you haven't been there, but very seldom does anyone chime in with a big 5 number that it was absolutely awesome. They're out there, they're just rare. So let's delve a little deeper into the 3 mistakes, the top 3 mistakes that speakers make. Number 1 is not understanding how the speaking industry works. Most speakers rely on fee-based speaking engagements. Now, what that is waiting for someone to call you and say, hey, I have an opportunity. We have a meeting coming up in September. We're going to have 100 people there. The budget is $2,500. Are you interested? Well, if your fee is $5,000 or $10,000 and they're offering you $2,500, then someone else is determining what you're worth. Do you see that? That's not where you want to be. Plus, speakers bureaus have that attitude, that mindset of don't call us, we'll call you. I know when I get a request for a speaker, if I don't have someone who's just right for the gig for my client, I go on Google and I search sales speaker or futurist speaker or whatever category my people are looking for, my clients are looking for. So sitting around and waiting for a speakers bureau or a meeting planner to call you is definitely a key to poverty, because it's just such a crowded field. And there's so many other people. Even when I put out a proposal, I might have 3 or 4 or 6 or 8 speakers in it, which then means, as valuable as it is to be listed on the Speakers Bureau, it still means you might have just a 25% chance of getting picked, even when you're on my radar and I'm promoting you and I've seen you speak and I love you and I'm telling someone how fantastic you are. They never want just one speaker in a proposal. They're always asking for 3 or 4 or more even. So now we're going to talk about your platform. So what is a platform and why do you need one? Okay, well, a platform is basically your accomplishments. It's what people are saying about you when they talk about you. Do you have a #1 best-selling book? Have you been interviewed on television? Have you been on Oprah? Have you been on the news? What have you accomplished? You know, it's interesting. Lauren Bloom, who's one of my co-authors in the Power of the Platform anthology series, wrote a book. She's an attorney. Her chapter in my book is called How to Avoid Getting Sued for Small Business Owners. But her book, her fabulous book is called How to Write, or The Art of the Apology. So every time someone in the public eye messes up, she gets asked to appear on all of the talk shows to talk about what they should do to get back in the good graces of the public. So when someone like Tiger Woods or Kobe Bryant or that governor who ran off to the Appalachian Trail with his girlfriend, you know, when those people mess up, guess who's on the Today Show? Miss Bloom, sharing what they should say. Anyway, this is your platform, is your accomplishments, what books you've done, if you've done television, any appearances you've had. It's basically, you know, the highlights of your career. So what will your platform mean to your career as a speaker? Well, I think the more qualified you are, the more speaking gigs you're going to get. So you really want to work, especially if you're starting out, you really want to get as much publicity as possible. You want to set yourself on fire. You want to have a book, at least for starters, and we'll get into product development in just a minute. But all of this comes together to create your platform. Here, if you set yourself on fire, bureaus and meeting planners can find you. Well, this is my page if you're looking for the Art of the Business Lunch speaker. The first listing is my book on Amazon, The Art of the Business Lunch, Building Relationships Between 12 and 2. It's actually a sales book for people who build long-term committed relationships. I sold advertising for 20 years. So, and then you see my website. It's an organic listing there for robinj.com. And then you can see it's an abstract of one of my books, then a video of me speaking on the subject. There I am listed on another speakers bureau, and there is my speakers bureau featuring my book. Okay, so that's pretty groovy that I'm up there. And I actually had everything on page 1, but it was too much to put on a PowerPoint vertical because this is horizontal, you know, widescreen, so I couldn't fit it all in. But you can see I even set the Las Vegas Convention Speakers Bureau on fire. The first listing is an ad for the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, the LVCVA, not to be confused with the LVCSB. And that's their site, vegasmeansbusiness.com. The first organic listing is My Speakers Bureau. The second organic listing is My Speakers Bureau for one of the subheadings. And the third one is the one for the LVCVA, but it's them promoting My Speakers Bureau. So searching Las Vegas Convention Speakers, you come up with even the LVCVA's listing for the LVCSB. I'm not saying all that to confuse you, but it doesn't bother me that their first listing is an ad because I'm on their website. So people looking for speakers will find me. This is so important to make sure that your SEO, your search engine optimization, will help meeting planners to find you when they search your topic followed by the word speaker. Okay. Now on to the second mistake that most speakers make is they create and try to sell the wrong products for the wrong reasons. You want to start with the end in mind. You want to really reverse engineer your products. And this is what I share in the actual Insider Secrets course, is I really help with product development. And that's where my 20 years background in advertising and marketing really comes in handy. I love to create and help brainstorm new products for speakers. Building products to sell is not important. It's mandatory if you're going to make a ton of money speaking, thousands every time you speak. And the good news is that these can cost next to nothing to create. You have to have a reason for creating your product. You need to create a product because there's a demand for it, and then share the reason why you created it so that your audiences understand. So, being no exception, I created this webinar and Insider Secrets because there was such demand from speakers who want to be listed with the Las Vegas Convention Speakers Bureau. And here are some examples from my inbox. And maybe you've written me in the past. If you're in on the webinar, maybe you've written to me before. But I hear from a lot of doctors, and it's usually their wives or their front desk girl emailing me. A lot of people want to know how to sign up with the Bureau, become an official speaker, send an application so they can fill it out. And I get those every week. And then this is a note in here that I have. Speaker has a broad range of subjects to choose from. You want to be an expert on a particular subject. Yes, it's good to be able to speak on other subjects that they can find when they come to your website. But you really, to dominate a topic, you have to be very specific about your subject. And speaker is looking for more paid speaking opportunities. That's what all the letters I get say. And on and on and on. It just doesn't stop. Every day, every week, I get letters from speakers who want to be listed with the Bureau. So I created Insider Secrets to help speakers understand that that's not necessarily the way to really build your speaking career. It's a part of a wonderful speaking strategy. But if you simply rely on that, you might end up struggling for years. When you create an awesome product, you definitely want to make it something people need, something people want, and something about which you know a lot, like a book. A book is a great starting point. If you don't have a book yet, those of you in the webinar right now, if you don't have a book yet, get busy writing it, because it really helps to define yourself as an expert. And it can even be an ebook. You can, take the link to the ebook, downloadable ebook for you. You can put it on Amazon as a Kindle book. You can offer it for 99 cents. It just really helps to define you as an expert. And then you want the products to have great value. So that's very helpful too. When we talk about these amazing, super successful speakers, they are earning more than most speakers working today. That's at my first movie premiere on the red carpet. I'm with Jack Canfield, Marcy Shimoff, and John Gray. And let's take a look at how they started. Look at this. Books can really make you rich by defining yourself as an expert. It's a great way to start your speaking career. Jack Canfield started with Chicken Soup for the Soul. They have to date sold more than 500 million copies of Chicken Soup for the Soul. I don't even remember how many titles there are at this point. And then after talking about that, he shared his success principles. And he wrote this business book, and it totally changed his audience. Jack gets $35,000 to speak in the US and $75,000 to speak outside the country. And he markets himself as well. You can spend $25,000 and go spend a few days with him at his house in Maui. He does events in Santa Barbara. He does events one of my friends just paid $15,000 to go see him in Tuscany. And it all started with a book. So if you don't have a book yet, oh, David, you said you have a number of books. Fantastic. Great start. Chicken Soup for the Woman's Soul was Marcy Shimoff's contribution. She's the reason Chicken Soup for the Soul became a series. Was she had that idea. She told a really funny story at my first movie premiere that she was actually at a retreat where you had to be silent. You couldn't talk to anybody. And she said, I had my best idea and I couldn't even tell anyone for a few days. So she wrote it down. She didn't want to forget. And then she's written Happy for No Reason and Love for No Reason. And then, of course, we know John Gray's book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. There's been a Broadway play. There's been a TV show. He holds seminars all the time. And they all started with a book. So you want to start with a book and really make it a huge success so that you can build your platform like we talked about before. Jeff Walker, who wrote Launch, wrote, no matter what you want to learn, someone else has spent a lifetime studying it. Learn from them. This is the old, we don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. We can look at what people have created. I'm sorry, I'm reading the chat bar. You're so sweet. You guys are being really nice to each other. I don't know why everyone else is being so quiet, but it's nice to have someone weigh in. Okay, yeah, so why do you have to reinvent the wheel? There's so many successful people out there who have already done what you want to do, so you can learn from them. It's fantastic. So to recap quickly, you've discovered most speakers really don't understand how the speaking industry really works. If you simply rely on bureaus to book you, like fee-based gigs, you might just starve to death. Most speaker training won't show you how to monetize your speaking career. Insider Secrets will. Financial freedom as a speaker can be yours if you understand how the industry works. You need to create awesome products, and there's a game-changing bonus opportunity coming up soon. So I know you have, those of you who are chatting have said that you're just getting started. So I'm guessing maybe you are where you think you should be at this point. So let's just jump ahead. If you're not, are you ready to start earning what you think you're worth, not what someone else has determined, and start living your dream of becoming a successful paid speaker? I hope so. You can type yes to that one if you want. Carol wrote, I know my subject, but I need the business side of speaking. Yes. And you're working on your first book, which is fantastic. I can help you with that, of course. So are you ready to change your game? Yes. This is something that I did not find out till I'd been speaking for about 5 years. There are 3 types of speakers. Fabulous. They are general, public, and paid. So what's the difference besides the obvious? Let's look at them. Of the 3 types of speakers, general, public, and paid, which type of speaker would you like to become? Ready, set, go. Yes, I can guess. Number 3, paid speakers. All right, let's look at the different types of speakers and break down the difference so you really know where you're going. General speakers. Oh, this is so sad. It includes the more than 18,000 speakers listed on all of the speakers bureaus that are out there today. They're talented. Some are really great. They teach, they entertain, and they motivate. It includes also everyone in every Toastmasters in the world, which is tens of thousands of people because that's a global organization. Industry experts and specialists. The reason I made specialists in blue here was so I wouldn't forget to tell you that you never want to be a specialist. And you're thinking, why? That sounds great. Well, I remember when I decided I was going to become a business relationship specialist. That was my new title. And I told a friend of mine who's very smart, and he said, that's a terrible name for what you do. And I said, why? And he said, because Cialis is in the word specialist. And Cialis is an erectile dysfunction drug, and it gets a lot of spam, and therefore your emails that you send out might get bounced. If I put, special message from Robin J, business relationship specialist, you might never see the email because it could get bounced. So that was, in that moment, I became a business relationship expert. And and that's why I talk about being an expert. An industry expert. You never want to be a specialist ever, okay? General speakers will speak for whatever they can get whenever they can get it. And, you know, I run the bureau. I've had people call me and say, our budget is like $1,500. I don't usually book anyone for less than $5,000, other than certified convention speakers. So I'll say, you know, well, for $1,500, then I have the choice. Do I want to let someone pay me? My fee is $10,000 or $15,000 now. So if I want, do I want to go over to Bally's or Mandalay Bay and make $1,500? Well, sometimes not. It depends on the group. Is it worth it? Is it going to lead to something? Is it going to be like an audition or a showcase? But I have that. And so that's a general speaker. They'll often speak for free and to any size audience. I remember when I started, I had a lot of friends in business here in Las Vegas, and I would go speak in their conference room to 6 of their team members on sales for free, and they would all buy my books, which was great. So again, I'd come home with $100 in my pocket, but boy, that can't end fast enough when you're in that realm. They hope to sell product back of the room, BOR, that's trade talk for back of the room, but they usually don't. General speakers hope to land that big $10,000 to $20,000 keynote. Now, I make $10,000 to speak. The general speakers, when I started out, one of my friends who's a speaker, she and I used to think if we could just get that one fabulous keynote gig that would lead to more fabulous keynote gigs. And, you know, we weren't alone. A lot of speakers feel that way. Now, here's why. Occasionally, a general speaker will get hot. They have the right message at the right time. Maybe they have a TV show or a viral video. Here's 2 examples. Larry Winget, the pit bull of personal development, who is a $25,000 speaker, and Judson Lapely, who had the very first viral video ever called The Evolution of Dance. Judson was a $3,000 keynote speaker when I met him. Larry got a TV show on A&E Network called Big Spender, and then he became a consultant for the financial news on one of the major networks. And like I said, he gets about $25,000 to speak. Judson went from $3,000 to, I think he's at $10,000 or $11,000 right now. So of course they get to raise their fee when they get discovered. They get booked a lot. The catch-22, a bureau will want to book you once you no longer need them to. Now, I called Judson a year after his big viral video hit, and I tried to book him for a client anytime between August and December, and he does a lot of speaking at colleges. So he does orientation and he does college break or Christmas break and all. He was not available. He did not have 2 days in his schedule to fly to Las Vegas and speak for my client. So again, a bureau, you know, kind of typical. I want to book you, even though you don't need me to. So I thought that was just incredibly interesting. Public speakers, the second kind of speaker. Now, a lot of people, this is probably the most misunderstood. They say most speakers say I'm a public speaker because they speak in public. So it seems to make sense, right? But it's not really true. Public speakers are famous, well-known speakers. They always keynote. And this is in your action guide. You want to write it. They always keynote. A public speaker is someone who's famous, well-known, always keynotes. They earn between $15,000 to $100,000 and more. And their average audience size is 500 to 20,000, like that big NADA or Networld Plus Interrupt, one of those big consumer electronics show conferences. It's usually someone very famous they use as a draw for those big events here. They use the platform to educate, entertain, and motivate the audience. They're not interested in selling anything in the back of the room, usually. Here's an example of some public speakers in case you're saying, well, who would that be? Politicos, people like Rudy Giuliani is a very much in-demand public speaker, former mayor of New York City during 9/11. Everybody learned his name. Athletes, Mark Spitz, who was the first Olympian to win 7 gold medals. Joe Montana, look at all his Super Bowl rings there on his hand. Actors and actresses, you know, the older they get, the more those fabulous juicy parts dry up. So they go out and they speak and they use their acting talent to share a motivational message. They'll tell stories about their life growing up. Here's a picture of John Hamm, the actor from Mad Men, and J.B. Bernstein, who's a sports agent, who was technically an industry expert speaker until Disney made a movie out of his book, $1 Million Arm, because he created that contest. So $1 Million Arm was a global hit. So he went from being a general speaker or an industry expert to being a public speaker because people know who he is. Anybody with a TV show, Anderson Cooper, Sean Hannity, whichever side you're on, I don't care. Anyone with a TV show, Michio Kaku, the physicist. He does a segment on CBS this morning. He has a show on the Science Channel. And there's our friend Jack Canfield as a public speaker. I've noticed since he's been in my movies and my books, even those people who may not recognize his name, they recognize the Chicken Soup for the Soul brand. So Jack is pretty famous. Now the good part. Number 3, paid speakers. They're happy to speak for free. Now that may seem like a disconnect, but it's not. And I'm going to explain how they make all their money. They might even pay you to speak. I hear from paid speakers all the time that if I book them, I can keep their fee completely. They base their presentation on science and psychology. That is a huge game changer in the speaking industry. They'll even split the take for the room or sales, whether you're selling tickets to get in or sales in the back of the room, sometimes as much as 50-50. Here's the difference. They use the platform to sell what they teach. It's a very significant difference. Here's an example of some paid speakers. Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins, think about it. Tony Robbins is not sitting around waiting for a speakers bureau to call him and say, Tony, I've got a great group. They've got a $100,000 budget for their speaker, and they would like to have you come and speak. Okay? So just keep that in mind when you see these guys. They're doing their own things. Deepak Chopra. Tony Robbins makes, I think, $400 million a year. Deepak Chopra makes about $40 million. So I would say Tony's basically crushing him, and Deepak is the number 2 top income earner. Last time I looked, anyway. Brendan Burchard. A lot of people still don't know who Brendan is. When I saw him last year, he said he made $28 million the year before, which means he probably made 40 or 50 million last year, if not more, because he's on fire. Here's someone you may not recognize, Marsha Weeder, America's Dream Coach. She's making high 6 figures speaking. Marcy Shimoff, my friend, is doing all kinds of affiliate marketing and making so much money that she lives way up in fabulous San Rafael and does very well. And oh my gosh, there's my friend Jack Canfield again. And like I mentioned before, you can go and spend $15,000 to $25,000 to go spend a few days with him. So that's the difference. Are you starting to see? What I really want to do with this webinar is get your wheels turning so that you start thinking about what you can offer, what you can do, your unique message, so that you can start capitalizing on that. Are your wheels turning? I hope so. So those are the 3 types of speakers. When we talk about taking the platform, this is one of the biggest challenges. Most speakers are general speakers trying to fit the role of public speaker. That's why they're not making any money. My girlfriend and I, the other speaker, we kept trying to, I guess I could say, get discovered or have that, just super hot keynote. That's not how it works. Most speakers never become paid speakers because they don't even realize that that category exists. Now that you know, I can help you to become a paid speaker. Next up, super exciting bonus and a nugget from Napoleon Hill, so stay tuned. So imagine creating an event where you could earn 10 times more than you invested to create this event. And if even just one person paid, you'd make a profit. This is what I want to show you how to do in Insider Secrets, because it's easy, it's possible, and you can do it. We want to learn from the rich and successful, where you are financially today, regardless of what you're doing for a living, whatever else comes your way. Where you are financially today is a result of what you were doing 5 to 10 years ago. If you're going to become a wealthy speaker, you have to do what the wealthy do, and that's invest in yourself. You know what OPM or OBM is? Can you write in the chat bar and tell me if you know what that stands for? OPM. You've heard that it takes money to make money, but it doesn't have to be your money. It could be other people's money or other banks' money. Most everybody knows that. The difference between the rich and poor, exactly. The difference between the rich and poor is that the rich use the power of debt. They invest in things to make money. They invest in things that will increase in value, things like education, real estate, and the market. That's how how they say the rich get richer. The poor, on the other hand, use the power of debt for instant gratification. They buy items that cost them money and put it on a credit card, and these items decrease in value, such things as big screen TVs, automotive, cars, trucks, SUVs, technology. Oh, doesn't it get you when you buy some new technology, you paid dearly for it, and now there's second generation or third generation, and you're like, why didn't I wait? Because it's not worth what you paid for it. Jewelry is another item that really decreases in value unless you're buying an investment stone like a diamond that's 4 carats or more. If you're buying fancy, intricate, speak much, Robin? Intricate jewelry like that, you're really paying for the workmanship as much as the stone. So that's not going to be worth what you paid for it at the store. And then vacations. I mean, vacations are fun. They're great. But if you put them on a credit card, you're going to be paying with interest for a trip that is now a memory or some photos on your cell phone. So you might be asking me now, and I had to find a reason to put the fabulous Georgie in here. But what if you are really talented and unique? What if you have a message that other people you really want to share and you're really on point? You have great talent. You're very unique. You have a message to share that you haven't heard anywhere else. Well, here's the deal about talent. Earning $10,000 or more per speech is not based on talent. It is based upon a presentation built on science and psychology. This is where you speak to your audience's beliefs, paradigms, and subconscious minds. And I'll tell you what, as a pastor, pretty much everybody's on the same page, which is fantastic. So when you're speaking to their belief system, David, or their paradigms and their subconscious minds, this becomes even easier because you're all on the same side of the fence. You're not trying to talk anybody into something else. You're just trying to enlighten them and empower them. So whatever your book is, or your books are, you said you had several, this is where this really comes in handy and helps you to be even more successful in that environment. So once I discovered how the speaking industry really works, I took my new knowledge for a sort of test drive. I am always invited, thank you, dear. I am always invited to speak for free by my friends. So here at NAWBO of Southern Nevada, National Association of Women Business Owners, I was invited to speak for free. I spoke on the keys to financial freedom, and I earned more than $6,000 speaking for 20 minutes. I was in shock. It worked. The science and psychology worked. It was fantastic. I was so excited. And I'm sure I sang with the radio all the way home. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is how it's done. And more than anything, I was probably looking back a little frustrated that it took me so long to figure this all out and learn this. So why are most speakers like that? Most speakers just don't understand how really easy it is to stop speaking for free and start getting paid to speak. So I'm wondering, I run a bureau and I'm thinking, why does everybody think it's so hard? Well, here's some proof. The National Speakers Association reports that 95%, and I'm guessing it's probably higher, 95% of their members earn less than $50,000 a year from speaking. Now, I don't know about you, but in this economy, I don't think that's a great living. I want to make 6 figures always. They have a CSP designation. It's a certified speaking professional. And to qualify for their CSP, a speaker has to show and prove with pay stubs that they have earned more than $50,000 for at least 5 of the last 10 years. That's what it takes to qualify for their CSP. Now, unfortunately, this leaves out industry experts and other really great speakers, but especially people who have a regular job or are busy doing other things, and they are not earning exclusively from speaking. And of course, it leaves out most general speakers on the circuit today. I think that's why people think it's hard, because the CSP is such an elite. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, except that it's unattainable even for really great speakers. I assure you, it doesn't take a lot of money to earn a lot of money. When we talk about getting started, first, you just simply have to decide that you're going to become a paid speaker. Stop relying on fee-based gigs. Build proper credibility. Build that platform of yours through your product development, your marketing, your promotion, videos. Oh, videos are so important today. Your publicity And you need tremendous search engine optimization. So when someone's looking to book you, they can find you. It's all part of a strategy to get booked. And then discover how to use science and psychology to start earning more right away. So let me ask you, have you learned more so far today than you thought you would? It's surprising to see a little snapshot, a little behind the curtains of how the speaking industry really works. There's a picture of me looking terribly surprised, right? I hope you found this helpful. Don't go yet. Remember, I have a Napoleon Hill nugget for you. It's been a great hour. Do you want to know what else you can do to further your career and start getting paid to speak? Oh, I'm so glad you learned a lot. Okay, so yes in the chat bar if you want to know what else you can do to further your speaking career. I am so excited to share this. Like I said, I created this product because there was such demand for it. The Las Vegas Convention Speakers Bureau is presenting Insider Secrets, Keys to Six-Figure Speaking. This is an 8-week crash course that will change your speaking career forever and help you to monetize your speaking career. And it includes 4 insane bonuses. So 8 weeks online, you can take it your convenience and come back to it as much as you want. Here's insane bonus number 1. Are you ready for this? I know you're going to roll your eyes and go, holy cow, I need this. The Certified Convention Speaker Designation. Imagine having a CCS after your name. This is absolutely priceless. You will be, and I think if a meeting planner or another speakers bureau is deciding between hiring you or hiring another speaker, and you have a CCS after your name, you're a certified convention speaker, I think that's going to give you the marketing edge. Absolutely. So that's just priceless. Insane bonus number 2 with a value of more than $1,500, a minimum 2-year listing on lvcsb.com, the Las Vegas Convention Speakers Bureau, the most elite speakers bureau in the convention capital of North America. And I say this has a value of more than $1,500. I think when I started, I found another kind of catch-22 where you couldn't get listed on a bureau unless you were listed on a bureau. So I paid to be listed on a bureau that featured women speakers. And I think it was a little more than $700 a year. So it's probably worth much more than that. So you'd be on my website and on my radar. And you can see I'm modifying the Las Vegas Convention Speakers Bureau website, the homepage. You can see there, certified convention speakers. And I think meeting planners will gravitate toward that. They've been burned by booking speakers that they thought would be great that weren't great. And so I think having a CCS and being on the Las Vegas Convention Speakers Bureau, and you can put that CCS after your name wherever you go, whatever you do. Insane bonus number 3, valued at $24.95, is the information from my Millionaire Speaker Bootcamp that I sold for a weekend for $24.95, where you'll discover how to use science and psychology to see how really easy it is to earn $5,000, $10,000 or more in one day as a speaker. This is just crazy information that, I wish I had learned this when I started out. It would have saved me years. And insane bonus number 4, also priceless, Insider Secrets to Publishing. You'll meet a top literary agent with insights and personal recommendations to help you achieve publishing success. And remember too, I originally self-published The Art of the Business Lunch. Then I sold it to a publisher. It's in 12 languages. I understand the process. Then I contributed to anthologies, and I published 3 anthologies. So anything you can do, and I have ebooks, anything you can do in the world of publishing, I've done it, and I will help you. I'm always just a phone call or an email away when you're in my class. Let's see. There's the animation, right? So Insider Secrets program includes 7 weekly online sessions you can take at your convenience, where every week you'll get about an hour. It's all on video, so you can take it at your convenience. And I'll share the secrets that took me absolutely years to learn. You can come back anytime and review the online lessons. I'll help you build your speaking empire so you can achieve your dream of sharing your message and gaining financial freedom or supplementing your income doing what you love. You have the 4 insane bonuses I just talked about, the Millionaire Speaker Bootcamp, so you can discover the science and psychology of speaking, Insider Secrets to Publishing, a listing on lvcsb.com, and your Certified Convention Speaker Designation. Direct access to me. I really love to help speakers fast forward ahead. And insane bonus number 5, if you purchase Insider Secrets in the next 48 hours, you'll get a special one-on-one private strategy session, just one-on-one with me, where I will personally help you develop your topic into a killer branded keynote. I'll review whatever you're working on at the time, whatever you want help with the most, your products, your manuscript, if you're working on another book, your website. I'll tell you what's good about it, what needs work, a PowerPoint presentation, whatever you need help with. I will cover that with you in that session. This is your chance to discover my insider secrets, and you can get started right away. Insider Secrets Keys to Six-Figure Speaking will be $49.97, but I have a webinar special. If you buy it in the next 48 hours, you'll really save. It's just $19.97. And I'm going to pop up this offer here for you. Here in this bar here. There we go. Give me a second to do that. And you can just click that Buy Now button and save more than half, about 60%, I think, if I'm doing blonde math, just $19.97. I also have an easy payment plan. Oh, that's wrong. Just 4 payments of $577 each. I am so sorry. Just 4 payments of $577 each. I need to go in and change that as soon as we're done. I told you everything changed over. So I was making some last minute adjustments, and I used to have, it was $49.97 with a lot of payments. So now it's just either $19.97 or 4 payments of $577 each. And when you check out, you'll see that in the cart. So you can earn more than this. You will make more than $1,997 even the very first time you speak after taking Insider Secrets, the online course. And I guarantee it, there's a 100% satisfaction guarantee. In just 8 exciting weeks, you'll know how to get paid to speak. There's an extra special webinar bonus. If you click the Buy Now button right now during the webinar, before the webinar is over, you'll get 3 monthly group coaching sessions worth $197 a month. That's an additional $591 value. And like I said, I offer a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee, so you really have nothing to lose. You'll be well into the course by then, and you'll see how valuable it is. So if you click the Buy Now button, you can get started today. You'll discover how to use science and psychology in your presentations. You'll know how to get booked for paid gigs. Like I said, it's all part of a strategy, doing your own things and getting fee-based gigs. You'll know the truth about publishing and have the keys to building your 6-figure empire. I have guest experts in Insider Secrets too, including an expert speaker marketer. We talk about the secrets for getting booked for those traditional paid gigs, finding those who will book you and how to contact them. We reveal so much information in that interview. And I also interviewed the developer of wisdomrobot.com, which is your key to product creation and income automation. If you don't know what that is yet, it's how to earn high perpetual income online by creating evergreen campaigns that will run 24/7, making money for you while you sleep. In fact, I'm in a group on Facebook, and one of the guys posted that he woke up and had a $1,250 sale for, of all things, drumming lessons. He taught the course on camera, he broadcasted on Skype, and he had a sale while he was sleeping, which is fantastic. And I'm telling you, if I can do it, because, you know, I operate a little blonde. You saw I had a few mistakes in here already today, but this is so easy and you can do it. I know you can. I'll also throw in a CCS makeover because I can't book you as a certified convention speaker without seeing how you look when you go on stage. So I'm going to help you put yourself together for the greatest impact on stage. This is a really comprehensive course. And if you look through the action guide, you'll see the various modules, 1 through 7, that are ready for you to download and get started. And you'll see what each one is. But in a nutshell, I'll talk to you about your headshot, what you need, how to make your topic a hot topic, what kind of testimonials you need. People make a big mistake. A lot of speakers get the wrong kind of testimonials when they're out speaking. You need a responsive website. This is a big challenge for a lot of people too. They either are cutting corners or building their website themselves. They don't understand most e-commerce is happening on a tablet or a cell phone. less is happening on a desktop. So your website really needs to change size and dynamics as you change whatever the platform you're looking at it on. A capture box so you can build a relationship with your visitors, great products that will help to make you money. And you need a couple different biographies. So that's something most people don't realize. They have one bio, then they send it to me and it's 1,000 words. And what I really need is like a 75-word bio. So you need different bios that target your different topics. You'll discover I'm going to reveal all the ways to tell the world you're an expert. Things like press releases, videos, collaborations, publicity, which is free advertising, blogs, movies, podcasts, books, and even YouTube. In fact, it's funny, Hannah Hart had more than 1 million followers on Facebook, and she just got a new TV show on the Food Channel. I think it's called I Heart Food, H-A-R-T, because she built up such a big audience. You want to talk about your platform. She had such a huge audience on YouTube that she got her own TV show. I'm going to share techniques for creating dramatically different presentations. You see the outline here for a presentation. This is what my PowerPoints look like when I'm speaking on stage, with maybe a little bit of text dropping in. And it makes for such a more compelling presentation. That's why people tell me I'm the best speaker they've ever heard. Joking modestly, I know a lot of people probably hear that. You'll discover the game-changing secrets of speaking directly to your audience's subconscious mind. All this and a CCS designation and a listing on lvcsb.com. And remember, I hire speakers, meeting planners, count on me. Insider Secrets game-changing modules include everything you need to become a paid speaker, starting with developing your unique message and brand, how to create explosive products, how to create a speaker demo video that will get you booked. It's funny, I can't even book a speaker anymore without a great demo video. Even if it's in front of 10 people, they have to be engaged. I know what it takes. I'll tell you how to create a fabulous speaker demo video, how to create the irresistible offer, which is just that. It's irresistible. The six elements you have to have on your speaking website, and how to determine your speaking fee and when to raise it, and how to earn thousands every time you speak. And again, I offer a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. And don't forget, you get 3 months of group coaching if you click that Buy Now button, which is going away in a minute, before the webinar is over. But the price will stay for 48 hours, that $19.97 for the $49.97 course. So click the Buy Now button to get started today, and I guarantee that in just 8 exciting weeks, you'll know how to get paid to speak. You have my email, robin@lvcsb.com, if you have any questions or you want to talk to me before committing to the course. Because there's so much live interaction, space is limited, so I encourage you to get started today. Now, remember, I promised a nugget from Napoleon Hill. Are you ready for this? He was hired by Andrew Carnegie. If you're familiar with his book, Think and Grow Rich, he was hired by Andrew Carnegie to interview the captains of industry in our country at that time. And he was excited to discover 16 characteristics that all the most successful people had in common. The good news is these characteristics were learned, which means it doesn't matter where you're from, who's your daddy, none of that matters. You can learn it. And the top 5 are so important. I want to share them with you because I really love to share this information. First and foremost is a burning desire to succeed at what you've chosen to do. And Napoleon Hill refers to it as a white-hot burning desire. Next up is specialized knowledge. You need to be an expert in your field and really share that information. 3 is discipline. You have to be disciplined. It takes a lot. It's easy and it's fun, but sometimes, your friends are out playing and you have to work at this a little bit. I know I did when I wrote my first book. It was a little challenging, but I was disciplined because I had that burning desire and I had knowledge I wanted to share. It takes strong associations. That's why I'm here for you. And in Insider Secrets, and the Bureau, the Las Vegas Convention Speakers Bureau, is a great association to be listed on the Bureau. And last but not least of the top 5 is decisiveness. It takes understanding how to make a decision. And if you have trouble making a decision, just ask yourself these 2 questions. Will this decision move me closer to my dreams? And is this decision in harmony with what I am doing? And if it's yes and yes, you have your answer. And you can ask yourself this with regard to almost anything, any topic, any subject. When we talk about predicting the future, the really good news is that out of every 100 people, only 10, well, that's not the good news, that's the bad news. This is a bad news, good news thing. Only 10 will go on to reach their dreams and gain financial independence. Here's the good news. It could be any one of those 100 people. It has nothing to do, again, with your socioeconomic background, your education, anything. So my last question for you is, will you be one of the 10% who will commit to yourself and your speaking career? Because this is your chance to change your future forever. So I'm going to go live now. Let me remove the offer and open up the chat bar again. So in case you have any last minute questions. Okay, and I am going to go live here. Hang on a second, I like to turn on a little bit of light. Let me see here. See, this is a new tweak. We can do that. I can have my PowerPoint and me. So here I am. Thank you for staying till the end. We did it in an hour. Yay. If you have any questions, just type them into the chat bar and I'll stay on for another minute or two to see if you have any questions that I can answer. See, I don't think anyone needs to see all that, my printer and my other desk. Okay. I want you to look at the beautiful meadow. This is exactly what Las Vegas looks like, isn't it, David? David lives here, so he knows. So much information. Thank you. I can only imagine what's in the course. I also know I don't want to waste time learning the business side. And while 1997 is a chunk of change, I also know this will be less than 1 or 2 events. You'll make it back. You're ready to commit. Fantastic, Carol. I really look forward to getting to know you and your message better as we work together. And by the time we do the 8th live segment and our group coaching calls, I'm sure I'll be able to help you do that. And you will make that back probably the first time you speak, I think. Getting back to you in the next 48 hours. Fantastic. Really appreciate your participation. I love a lively chat bar. Thank you so much for joining in. And I'm going to say goodbye. You've got my email. Just email me if you want to set up a phone call. We can do that too. Okay. You're so welcome. I don't want any speakers to struggle. It's so easy once you know how it works, right? So thank you so much for joining me today. And I will see you soon. Bye.